Hello everyone, my name is Silvermane and today I'm gonna show you peeps how to start up the Horizon Sim 789 from cold to dark to taxi. I also gonna show you how to connect the 789 with your SimBrief profile, how to load in your weights from the OFP, load in the route, gather the wind data from the OFP. If you wanna know which 6 digit number your sim profile is, you can find it on simbrief.com. You go to If you want to know where you can find the 6 digit number from your SimBrief profile, you can find it on simbrief.com. You go to Dispatch, Account Settings, and on the pilot ID you can find your 6 digit number. You can also fill in the username. So write it down or memorize it. As you can see, we are in the main menu, and I created an example flight from Amsterdam Schiphol to London Heathrow on SimBrief. So we click on World Map. We're going to select the plane. First, you can find the plane underneath airliners. In this example, we're going to use the GE engines, the Rolls engines. This for the Rolls-Royce, this example also counts. But in this case, we're going to do the GE engines. We're going to select the KLM because I've created a flight from the KLM. Departure airport is Amsterdam Schiphol. There it is. And we're gonna spawn in at gate FA Foxtrot 8. We're gonna fly real time with multiplayer. Let's load in. As you can see, we are loading in Amsterdam Schiphol. Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. And here we are in the Horizon 789. We're gonna do one thing first. We're gonna give the airplane power. So we're gonna click on the forward external power. We put on the battery, and then the rest of our external power can go on. Then we're going to do a flow. We have 4 sections, which I'm going to do the flow right now. We're going to do the left side first. First we're going to align our IRS. Then the next row we put on the forward door power. Window heat can go on. Hydraulics can go to auto. Passenger signs can go on. Then we go to the next row. Wing anti-ice. The nav lights can go on. And on the right, most right column, we'll only do the PAX lights on. The PAX on. The next stage of our flow is in the FMC. As you can see, the FMC is loaded. We're gonna first go to Index, Settings. We're going to the next page, and over here you can put in your SimBrief ID or the SimBrief username in here. And we activate it by pushing the buttons to the sides of it. If you want to load in the weights from your flight plan, you go to Settings again, Weight and Balance, press the button, set from the official flight plan, loading in. Standing by, completed. And as you can see, your weights and passenger and the fuel are already in. I can show you by loading in my flight plan. Payload. Block fuel is 9489, 9489, and the zero fuel weight is also the same, even for the passengers. So that is how you connect your SimBrief with your weights, with the weights from the flight plan with your Horizon Sim 787, 789. So in my case, I can now load in the plane via GSX, request boarding,
requested.
that's to KLM. Now we can go to our ident page. As you can see, we are using the Gen X version. We have the active IREC. Let's put in our GPS in the system. We are in Echo Hotel Alpha Mike. GPS coordinates are good. Now we can do the route request from your flight plan from SimBrief. So press on requesting routes. Just wait a few seconds for the route to load in. The flight plan is ready to load or erase on the route page. So we press on load. And there it is. In this case, we're going to from Amsterdam to London Heathrow, which is Echo Golf Lima Lima.
Do you want to board crew?
I want to
boarding starting.
board. I want to board both. Right. If you're flying on a network, you need to find the ATIS for it. And over here is the radio panel. You can put in here by pressing the buttons, the numeric buttons. In this case, I'm flying offline, so I'm going to put 122.8.
Boarding starting.
On the right side, on the standby. To change channel, you press the other button on the left side. So the 122.8 is active. Get your clearance, you get your transponder code, and you can put it in here at exponder. Your squawk code. This case is 2000, so identified. Back to the FMC. But in my case, in the OFP, I'm gonna fly from runway 18 left. So 18 left. Press departure. We're gonna take.
Your crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
The Valkenburg 5 Echo departure. So next page, here's Valkenburg 5 Echo. Execute. And we are arriving on runway 27 left via the Logan 2 Hotel with the Lambourne transition. Execute. And here in the left place you can see your route. Performance. Now comes the fun part. To put in the zero fuel weight, you double click on the button left of the zero fuel weight. Then we can put in our reserves, which is in this case 4.8. Our cost index today is 45. And a step climb we don't need. So we put in 0 in here. If you're doing a long haul and you have a planned step climbs, you can put in here, for example, 2000. Then the FMC, or when you are flying, already calculating when you go to the step climb, but you still have to put in the VNAV, the cruise altitude, what you're gonna fly. For example, you're flying 390, and you're gonna step climb to 410, you have to put in 410 in here. Also, you have to change the MCP altitude to 410. While being in the CDU, you can put it in the previous page. We can also do the climb forecast, where we can put in the winds from when you climb. There's the wind data uplink. Let's load it in. And then you can see the winds while climbing. Our transition altitude we're also going to change. In this case, in the Netherlands, it's 3000. Let's clear on this side, because we are done on the left side. We're gonna do go to the thrust limit page, then the takeoff page, and double click next to the CG percentage, because this is the percentage that you want to know, 31%. We are in Europe, so we can go to hectopascals, and let's set it on the right hectopascals by pressing the B button, the Bravo button, and now we can calculate the performances. That's why we have the AFB. In here we press the performance. We copy the data from the FMC. We want to have the METAR from Amsterdam. There it is. So the winds are 180 at 8. So we can put it in here. 180 at 8 knots. The outside temperature is 13 degrees. The conditions is wet, because it's a rainy day today in the Netherlands. The thrust RTG we set up optimum. Flap config also. The engine we set on auto, and then we can calculate, because the weights are already set in. Now we can load in the speeds, etc. in our CDU. So we press send to output, and the data is loaded in your CDU. Only thing we have to do is press accept. So as you can see, the speeds are in, the thrust reduction, because you can see it in the thrust limiter, is 65, selected temperature, takeoff 2, climb 1, and we're gonna do a flaps 5 takeoff. Next thing we're gonna do is our checklist. As you can see, we have put on the passenger signs. Next thing we can set is our MCP. So the V1 is 146. .146 is set. Flight directors on. Auto throttle armed. LNAV VNAV. The heading from runway 18 left is 2. And today we're gonna fly at flight level, let's see, 240. So now we can set 240 in here, in the MCP. Next thing on the checklist is done. Takeoff speeds, V1 130, V rotate 133, and V2 is 146. CDU pre-flight completed. Next thing on the list is our trim. The trim you can find over here. So set the trim to 2.5 all the way down. There's 2.5. And the next thing I like to do in my ND is put on the takeoff data, like traffic, airport, waypoint, stats and data on both NDs. This one I set also on the range of 20. That is set. In the meantime, the boarding is completed. So taxi and takeoff briefing is completed. So I can put on the beacon light. But first, we're gonna put on the APU, which is on the left side next to the battery button. If you want to know if the APU is running, go to the system page and go to electricity, and you can see the APU is spooling up. Or go outside and you can hear it spooling up. Another way to see if you are on the APU, that if the external power are unavailable. So now you have your taxi clearance and you want to start the pushback. Only thing you have to do is to press the fuel buttons, which are the outside. If you have fuel in the center pumps, you press these two buttons and the beacon light can go on. Let's request for pushback and start.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
In this time I put on my TCAS, which is this knob in the middle. These can both go back to the stats page. Anti-ice is on. Recall. No arrows. Auto brake and go to RTO. And for the rest we have to wait until pushback.
Locking gear.
Right, we are almost ready to push back and start.
Release parking brakes, please.
Right, gonna release the parking brakes.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, he said start at will, and we're gonna start with the right engine, which is in the third column on the engine. So engine number 2 can go on, and as you can see the packs go auto off. Because this is like an Airbus, you can put in directly the fuel. And as you can see, engine number 2 is pulling up. Now we can start engine number 1. Same procedure. We can put in the fuel directly. As you can see, engine number 1 is also spooling up. Let's see. Yep, there it is. We have a good start, so the APU can go off. Because we don't need it anymore. And now it's only waiting for the pushback to finish. I can put on the flight control page already.
Please set parking brakes.
Right, so let's set the parking brakes.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit look around. We have a good
Cockpit
engine
to
start.
ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Now the next thing we're gonna do is check our flight controls. So full left, full right, up, down, left rudder, right rudder, flight controls checked. They say the ground equipment was also ready. APU's off.
Tow track disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
And the next is going to be the flaps, of course. And we're going to take off with flaps 5. So 1 and 5. That's the before takeoff checklist done. The next thing we're going to do is wait until we are ready to taxi. So we're going to taxi to runway 18 left, which is over there. GSX give us the all clear, so we can put on the taxi lights. Pull down the parking brakes, and let's taxi to the runway. We are about to cross a active runway. Which is a runway 27. So we're gonna put on the strobe lights. just to show other airplanes that we are crossing the runway. So we can turn on the weather radar now. The rain radar on the other side. Landing lights can go on, runway lights. Taxi lights can go off. Because we're gonna line up on runway 18 left in Amsterdam. Let's line up. What I most of the time do, put on the clock, add some power, and let's take off. $80 knots. V1, rotate at the positive rate. Let's put on the autopilot. Flaps 1. And flaps up. Above 3,000 feet, so standard barrow. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how you start the Horizon Sim 787 from cold and dark. So thank you for watching, and see you all the next time. Bye bye.